What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Meat Cranium Barbecue and Review. Today, I'm going to be making an Asian-inspired baby back ribs, or just plain old back ribs is what they're originally called. They're given the word baby to make them sound a lot cuter, but they're just back ribs. I got 2 slabs of some back ribs, and I'll be making an Asian-inspired sauce to go on top of them, and this is going to be really good. I actually made this dish last night with some pork steaks. It came out fantastic, so I want to share with y'all today making some ribs. The reason I'm doing this is because I've had people say, man, you know, all your ribs are like sweet and all this other stuff. So I decided instead of doing sweet today, I'm going to do a savory type of rib, and this is just for your liking. And this is also very, very, very few ingredients. I think it's only 4 ingredients for the sauce I'm making. So it's a very, very simple sauce, and it's packed full of flavor. Let's get started. And oh yeah, I'm going back to the Oklahoma Joe Highland smoker. I dug it out just for this cook, and let me show y'all how I got this thing set up. Alright y'all, so this is the Oklahoma Joe Highland smoker. Get this open too. I'll show y'all what I did to it. So I went ahead, I covered the bottom with foil. It just helps with clean up a lot better. Then over here I have this right here is the grill grate that goes over here in case you want to do burgers and stuff. I cover with foil and I lean it up right there, just like that. I lean it up, and then this is then you can also it also has 2 other ones. You can actually lay them down and it'll come up about right here, but I found this one inside a propane grill somebody's throwing away, and it fits perfectly in it's the same width. So I went ahead and just covered it in foil, and I put it here, and what's going to happen is now it's going to come up. It's going to go right up through the center of the grill, and it's going to give you even temperature disbursement across the inside the cooking chamber of the Oklahoma Joe smoker. These temp gauges right here are accurate. I could put a temp probe down here on the bottom and monitor at grill grate level if I wanted to. I don't want to, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to have 2 racks of ribs, so I'm not really too worried about, you know, all the heat and stuff. I'm not too really worried about it, you know, messing up. Then over here, I have in the firebox here, I've got I have 2 charcoal grates in here. I got one running this way, I have one running this way, so it has a little bit smaller holes right here. But in the corners, I also have these bricks. I got another one right here. I don't have one here because, well, 3. I can only find 3. And it also helps cover up these holes right here for charcoal and stuff. Drop it down inside there. It kind of keeps everything contained inside here. Then over here, I've got the flue. And this is going to be controlling the temps. I'll be controlling the temps from right here. And I'll probably just keep this right here, wide butt open, and that's the setup, and that's how I'm going to be doing it today. Let's get to season up these ribs. Pecan wood. Okay, about wood. I found it really doesn't matter if you put it under the charcoal or on top of the charcoal. I know some people prefer to put it under the charcoal. I found it really doesn't freaking matter. And also the bark. Yes, I keep the bark on my pecan wood. This is pecan wood. I keep the bark on the pecan wood. It does not change the flavor, does not change the smoke, does not change anything. The only one I found it changes on is oak wood. That's the only one I take the bark off of, is oak. But pecan, you do not have to do that. I'm not going to take the membrane off. I'm just going to trim up some of this fat. I'm leaving the membrane off until the end. Something I learned from that I like that Ken from Heavy Metal Barbecue did. And what I'm going to do to add some more flavor, I'm going to be using some sesame oil. Not really as a binder, but more or less for flavor. Get a little bit of flavor on the outside because I am going some Asian spice, some Asian flavors. So I'm going some sesame oil. Sesame oil has a nice, rich, almost like a nutty flavor to it. You don't need to use much. You can spread it real thin, and it gives a great, great flavor. Use it in stir fries, use it all kinds of stuff. But it's also good for just meat, just like this. Need just a little bit. That's all you need. Spread it thin. It's very powerful stuff. Use some SPG. This hand is dirty. This hand is clean. I'm pressing it against my belly right here. Right there, and I take it off. Take the lid off. Now from up high, it's gonna do a nice little dusting on top. There we go, done. All right, so no sweet flavors, nothing but savory. Time to get these onto the pit. All right, y'all, sorry about the background noise. Got a neighbor down the road there with a chainsaw, so hope y'all can hear me. Anyhow, let's get these ribs on. So in case anybody says, oh, well, since you have these plates here, you're not gonna get smoke over here. Trust me, this whole chamber is gonna be full of smoke. There'll be smoke flavor, there'll be plenty of smoke. These plates right here have nothing to do with getting smoke flavor into it. The ribs will have smoke flavor. I've done this hundreds of times. But thanks for your concern anyhow. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do an experiment. I want to see if you stretch the meat out, if it makes it any difference, or if you scrunch it together like that, if it makes any kind of difference. So I want to stretch this one out, then that one I scrunched in, this one here I pulled out. I'm just kind of curious. I see people pulling the meat out. I'm just kind of curious if it's any kind of difference. If you notice anything different, if it's more tender, juicy, anything. So this right here, back here, you can tell it's considerably longer than that one back there. So there we go. Switch that around. All right, just gonna let it go. Okay, so I'm about an hour into this, and right now, see those plates? If you can see that, this side over here is reading right about. It's almost about 220 right here. Over here, 220, almost exactly the same. And then I forgot with this smoker right here, with this Oklahoma Joe, I have to keep this one open. So I went ahead and opened up the door right here, and then I've been adjusting the temps with the top here. So as the temperature is lower, I just keep creeping this up open just a little bit more, just hair by hair, and it's going to increase the temperature inside. Okay, so here's a tip. Right now it's at 225. It took about 10 minutes for it to get up to that little area. It's at 225. With an offset smoker, when you make a change to either the intake or the outtake, it takes a little bit. So give each change 15 to 20, sometimes 25 minutes to see what it's doing. So then you're gonna have to correct. So you're always gonna be probably about 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes reactionary time to what you change the flue to right there, what you change this to what it reflects right here. All right, so there's a kind of a tip there. So right now I'm just kind of seeing where those modifications I did, where I adjusted it just a little bit more, but right now they are both reading the same. I don't know if you can see where the arrow is right here. Just going straight. This is going straight. They're both at about the 9 o'clock position. So getting equal temperature disbursement inside of the cooking chamber. So almost at the 1 hour mark, I'm gonna go ahead and spray these ribs, running at a 245, which is still a really good temperature. Between 225 and 275, I'm really good with rib. Heck, even 300 degrees I'm good with. So let's check these ribs out after 1 hour. I like it. And by the way, that smoke is burning clean. Take a look right here. That's the smoke coming out of there. That's burning clean. I like that. Yeah, nice clean burn. Alrighty, 2 hour check, and right now we're hanging right around the 245, 250 area. Temperature is staying solid. I haven't done nothing with this thing. This is the first time I've come out here and looked at it since the last time I was out here. Look at that. The difference 1 hour makes, huh? Let it keep going. Revisit this another hour. All right, 2.5 hours in. Over here next to the firebox, it's reading 245. Over here, 240. Only 5 difference in temperature. Clean burn right now. Burning nice and clean. And coals wise, still pretty good. Nice and white. I might add some wood to it. But there you go. That's almost 3 hours. Haven't had a touch, nothing. Okay, so here's what you're gonna need going from the left to the right. You're gonna need 1 small to medium-sized onion. You're gonna use a little bit of sesame oil, or if you don't want to use sesame oil, you actually don't have to use it at all. 2 sticks or 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of low sodium soy sauce, and 2 cloves of garlic. If you want to do a little bit less, then just cut back on everything by half. I would just do a half a cup, which would be 1 stick of butter, because 2 sticks of butter is 1 cup. Then I do half a cup of soy sauce, and then you can do 1 large clove of garlic, and then maybe 1 small onion. But let's get started. All right, watch this. Woo! I see YouTubers doing that all the time. I thought y'all would be impressed with that as well. All right, let's get this thing on. Medium high. All right, Though it takes a couple minutes for that to get heated up. All right, gonna let that get heated up, and I'm gonna throw that butter in first. All right, so here we go. There we go. We'll lower this down a little bit. Gonna add just a drop of some sesame oil in here while this butter melts. There we go, just a little bit. All right, now comes time for that onion. And now time for the garlic. Now I'm keeping this really simple. You can actually add a little bit of ginger. You want to grind some ginger up in there. Some fresh ginger would go really good. But I'm just going to keep it basic. It basically is just 4 ingredients. You don't even need to put the sesame oil out. I just like to give that a little bit of a nutty flavor in there. I use that on top of the ribs anyhow. So now I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of let this all kind of thicken up. The butter's going to give a nice smoothness to it. And I'm using unsalted butter, in case you're asking. That's an unsalted butter. Using a low sodium soy sauce, because the ribs already have a salt, pepper, garlic mixture already on there. Okay, so now that I got it in here, I'm going to crank it up a little bit. Right now the temperature's at 360. It's going to be 375 on the skillet here. Just going to let this kind of come up to a simmer. It's going to take probably about 15-20 minutes to make. I've got to pull the ribs off here about another 30 minutes. I want to let this cool and kind of thicken up before I put it on top of the ribs and wrap those up. All right, so it's been about 10-15 minutes now. On medium high, see how I push it, and it looks like it's thickening up. This is perfect. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off and just let it sit down and cool, and it's going to thicken up. And then when this gets ready, I'm going to put this onto the ribs and put some foil in it and let it go and let it cook inside this for a little bit. All right, it's going to be awfully good on them ribs. Awfully good. Awfully as in being a good thing, not a bad thing. Okay, so it has been 3 hours. All right, so now I'm going to test to see how tender these are. This is the one that's been pulled straight. Okay, it's kind of soft in the middle. Feels good. The one in the back, the one that's kind of, I push everything together, it feels about the same. So yeah, that's good. Now it's time to get these things wrapped. Let's do the one that's been has been pulled straight. So I get to use this membrane off. I'm actually remembering to take the membrane off this time. There you go. Not too bad. Actually come off pretty easy. There we go. All right, take this Asian sauce right here, put it onto the ribs here. Flip these over. I'm gonna double wrap these right here. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other rack as well. All right, so I just wrapped the ribs up, and I want to show y'all. I had to add, so I just added some more wood in there, and it's burning nice and good. So the rest of the way is going to be with wood. I know what you're saying. Why don't you just put it in the oven? Simple. I don't want to. How about that? Alright, so it's been a little over 4 hours now. Let's take these things off and see how they're progressing. These are the ones that have been pushed together on the smoker. They might be done already, so. Alright, here we go. Got some pullback right here. See that right there? Got some pullback right there. That's pretty good. Okay, go ahead and check for some tenderness. Use the new Inkbird, one I just did a video on last week, the Inkbird IHT 1P. Oh yeah, these are, yep, 4 hours. These things are done. This is going in like butter. That is really nice. You can also do a bend test. This might actually be a little bit too done, but you can also do a bend test with these things if you can, and pick it up, and if it bends down, if it starts cracking right here in the center, those ribs are done as well. You know what? I might just leave these on uncovered for another 30 minutes. And I think they'll be perfect. So leave these uncovered, 30 more minutes, be ready. So 4.5 hours, so actually 4 hours to 45 minutes. Okay. Now here's the one that got that I stretched out. See if there's any difference. Don't have any pullback on these yet. See any kind of pullback yet on the bones. These don't look like they're as ready yet. Yeah, these still got a way to go. See how that's hardly bending at all. Look at that. See, that's hardly bending. That's definitely not done yet. So I'm gonna put these down into the sauce. Now these are the ones that I stretched out. All right, and these aren't even close to being done yet. I don't know if that has anything to do with me doing that, but yeah, they're not really done yet. We'll go a little bit longer on these, wrapped up. But the other rack, they are pretty much done, but I think they're also a smaller rack as well. I was texting with somebody else, and they said I should call these Kung Flu ribs. I think that sounds pretty good, so I'm gonna call these Kung Flu ribs. All right, so it's been a half hour. I'm gonna see how these are going, these unwrapped ones. These should be pretty good. Yeah, I think those are about good. Those are about done. The smoker is still maintaining right around a 250 temp right now. So right now it's averaging about a 250. Yeah, they're nice and soft. They're perfect, ready to go. All right, we're going to wrap these up and put these in the tray and wait for the other ones to get done. These are done. Okay, so I just added some wood on to keep the temperature up. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna check these other ones out, but I'm not too worried about the smoke being dirty or clean right now because, well, it's wrapped in foil. There we go, that looks a lot better. Get a lot more pullback on these. Yeah, these are done. I might have gone a little bit too long on these. Yeah, I went too long. These are gonna be fall off the bone. Yeah, see, look, they're falling apart. Sorry, my wife likes them like this. I got one perfect rack, I got one not so perfect rack. That nice, beautiful pink right there. Look at this. Check that out. Beautiful. Those are done. I'm just gonna leave them on for about another 15 minutes. All right. It's been 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these off, and I'm gonna shut everything down. Ooh, got all that smoke. Dirty burning smoke, but that's okay. Put these in the tray, and that's it. I'm gonna let them rest, and I'll be back with the taste test. They have been resting for about 15 minutes. All right, these here broke off, so I'll just leave it at that. So there's them right there. Okay, this is the one that actually I stretched and I pulled. Got a little bit of a smoke ring right there. Those look pretty good. These are the stretched out ones. All right, looks pretty good. Let's get some of this. I reserved some Asian sauce for it. Okay, that's them. Clean this up right here. There's the other rack right here. They look beautiful. Now these are the ones that I squished together before I put them onto the grill. I personally don't have a preference, you know, probably either way. I mean, I've done both. I'm just kind of curious about the whole thing. These bones are weird. Here, I'll flip it over like this. Probably how I should have done it to begin with. Yeah, these look really, really, really delicious. Okay. Looks wise, the ones here, the ones that I squished together look to be a little bit more moist than what these do. Okay, so that's these, and this is these. Okay, so here we have the ones that I stretched out, I pulled, and this is the one I kept together. These actually look a little bit more moist. Just personal opinion. Now, time for my favorite part, the taste test. All right, so let's try, well, not let's. I'm gonna try the one with the ribs I stretched out and I pulled. I'm gonna put a little more sauce on here. I'm gonna dip them in the sauce. Some Kung Flu ribs, I'm talking about. It tastes a little dry. It's good, actually a lot dry. Either from me, because I overcooked them a little bit, or from stretching them out, didn't get as moist. Now here's the one where I kept them like squished together to be as fat as they could. All right, I have an opinion. Shocker, right? I always have an opinion. All right, a couple things went on. The second one, the ones I squished together, those got done first. I think it was a little bit smaller rack of ribs, but really not by much. Might have been a quarter pound, but however, when I squished it together, I think that it kind of like kept everything together as when I pulled it apart and I tried to lay it flat. I think doing that kind of made it dry out a little bit, and it definitely, the one I pulled out definitely was not as moist inside as the one that I kept together. However, I did overcook the one that I pulled out. I did overcook it. That could have dried it out. And I did cook the ones that I kept together. I cooked those perfectly. That could be a case as well. But anyhow, if y'all like to put your meat together, squish your meat together, you put it on a grill, go ahead and do that. That's your choice. If you like to pull it apart, you like to stretch it, hey, that's your choice. You go right ahead and do it. I just curious, for curiosity's sake, because I do both, and I just wanted to kind of see which one was probably better. You know, from here on out, I might just go ahead and just keep squishing the meat together, my briskets, my ribs, anything else, might try to keep it together in a nice little ball. So anyhow, like, subscribe, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching Kung Flu Ribs, share, ciao.